Curse Season 1, the Hannah Baker Netflix King Arthur story. Where do I even begin? Let me start with the trailer. When I first seen this trailer, I was like, is that Hannah Baker from 13 Reasons? I know her name is Catherine Langford, but she'll always be Hannah Baker to me because she captured my soul in 13 Reasons Why. But on the real tip, this show from the trailer was real interesting to me because I was like, okay, I like 13 Reasons Why. I like King Arthur and swords and mystery and fantasy and all that fairiness and king. So fuck it, I'm game, I'll watch. And it's interesting because the first episode starts off and we're introduced to her character Nimue. And Nimue is the cursed child of a Fae village. Fae being, in the sense of the show, mythical creatures. Like you have people with horns, you have all types of different mythical creatures with different powers. And she's from one of the villages. And they keep bullying her and calling her weird and cursed because she has magic powers and she can manipulate the forestry. But I'm thinking like, don't all y'all got powers? Like, aren't y'all all fairies, fae, and mythical creatures? So why are you guys picking on her? But then her world gets turned upside down because, of course, the Catholic Church rose up and fucks everything up. And they're on a mission to wipe out the entire fae race. And bruh, is it just me or throughout history and throughout fiction, the Catholic Church is always out here on some bullshit? They always amass a force. They always go after persecute people who are different from them. And it's like, they're doing it in the name of God and all things holy, but then they're assholes, they're mean, and they're nasty, and they're fucking worse than the people they're trying to kill out, right? It's always mind-blowing to me, but then, of course, it's the Catholic Church, whatever. But they're always out here on some bullshit, so now Hannah goes on a quest where she has to take the fabled sword and find Merlin. So Hannah escapes with her life, and her mom, with her dying breath, gives her the mystical sword, Excalibur, the sword of power, and says, get this sword to Merlin. And I'm like, oh shit, we're about to go on a quest. I love questing. So now Hannah has to go and find Merlin and give Merlin the sword. On top of Hannah doing that, the Catholic Church is still walking around fucking shit up and just killing Fae. And then we're introduced to the character of Merlin, who's played by Floki from Vikings. And I gotta say, if you've seen Vikings, you've seen Floki. He's like Floki, but more eccentric and more entertaining. Like, it's the same. The actor is, that's his thing. Like, he got swag, and he's by far the best character in the show. If you want the most funniest lines, it's Merlin. If you want the most badass lines, it's Merlin. He is the show. So now he has his own quest because he's also looking for a way to destroy the magical sword because he has some bad history with it. We have that plot line playing. So then we have that plot line going on, right? And then we have King Arthur, aka Barack Obama. Because if you guys remember, this dude played Barack Obama in the movie Barry. So I see what the show did there. King Arthur's the king, Barack Obama was president. I see. So we have Barack Obama, or King Arthur, doing his thing, and he intersects with Nimue. And off rip, they kind of have this little fling with each other. I'm like, oh, Barack Obama wants Hannah. It's a very funny dynamic. So once they start teaming up together, we find out more about King Arthur's backstory. Before he was the great King Arthur, he was nothing but a bum, a sellsword, someone who owed a lot of people a lot of money. But he wants to change that around and he wants to make a name for himself by helping Nimue. And then we're introduced to a bunch of other characters throughout the series. We have the character of Morgana Le Fay, King Arthur's sister. Throughout her quest, we're seeing her introduced to different characters. Then she becomes the leader of the Fae and she has to stop the Catholic Church. But while this is going on, another aspect of the show, which I never knew was part of Arthurian legend at all, is the fact that Vikings are in this show. Yeah, fuck it, why not? Vikings, right? Of all the things, you have a fight between fairies and human, King Uther Pendragon and the church, and then you have Vikings. And when you throw Vikings in any story, you know shit's about to hit the fan. Because Vikings do three things: kill, pillage, and fuck. Right? That's all they do in everything they're in. So you know when Vikings are in, that throws a whole new wrench in the plan. So as the story goes on, Hannah's learning more about the world and she starts finding out more about her past and who she is, who her daddy is, and all those things are happening. And I'm thinking to myself, she's gonna die. Nah, she's gonna die. Because she's the Lady of the Lake. And for you guys who don't know, the Lady of the Lake is the one who ends up giving Arthur's Excalibur or putting him on the right path to Excalibur. And she plays a major pivotal role in the King Arthur story. So it's like, okay, so she's gonna die. But how is she gonna die? How did she get in the fucking lake in the first place? Because for you to be as powerful as the Moonblood Witch and have all these mythical powers and you have Excalibur, how the fuck do you end up in the lake? So that itself has an interesting dynamic, and the fact that the sword is not in the stone yet and everyone wants this fucking sword. It's Excalibur. Who would not want Excalibur? You get all the powers of everything. So being the fact that our main character is gonna die, it tells me one of two things. Like, okay, so the main character is dying. So while she is the main character, Hannah Baker, it's her show, I'm like, first and foremost, why they always killing this girl? She died in 13 Reasons Why, and now she's dying in this show. It's like, yo, did they typecast my homegirl? Like, don't do her like this. On top of that, it's like, okay, so if she's dying, we know the story's gonna start revolving around Arthur, so we're gonna see more of Arthur, but then you have so much more interesting characters. Like, this show could have been called Merlin, because Merlin steals the spotlight of every scene he's in, and I know you can't call the show Merlin, because there's already a Merlin show, and throughout, like, Merlin's always badass in every King Arthur story, in every Arthurian legend, every show, every movie Merlin's in, it's always like, I fuck with Merlin, because he's always badass, and like, following his character, like, he was the most entertaining part in the entire show. And I have to say, Merlin's character was top tier. Arthur's character was okay, but I know he's developing. The Vikings were fucking awesome because Vikings are awesome as fuck. Then you have Pym's character, Nimoy's best friend in the show. And I have to say, while her plotline itself didn't add much to the show, I just love seeing her on screen. Like, she's so cute. Like, So while she's up there, I'm like, okay, I fuck with Pym. But when it comes to Nimoy's character, I have to say, like, as the main character, I'm like, she's okay. Nothing spectacular. But then, of course, this entire first season feels like setup for a following season. Feels like setup for a greater adventure. Because this story is supposed to be the story of Nimue and her coming of age. But then she is supposed to die. And on top of that, she's the least interesting character out of the main cast. And on top of her being like whatever, you have the Fae. And I have to say, like, why is it every time mythical creatures are involved, they're always trash? Like, when they're being persecuted by humans, like, just fucking kick their asses, bro. Like, you're stronger, faster, you have all these different things, just beat their asses. Like, I never can understand, like, if I'm a mythical creature with super strength, ain't no way in hell some Catholic priests are gonna come tell me what the fuck I'm gonna do or what I'm not gonna do, because I'm gonna beat their ass straight up. Like, the fuck? But then, on top of that, it's always like the Catholic Church to have one champion, and they have the weeping monk. And this dude right here. When I said, I'm gonna whoop the human's ass, I'm talking about everybody but him, because this dude right here is an ass kicker extraordinaire. Like, he walks around and whooping people's asses casually, like, come with me. No, you coming with me. Like, I'm like, oh shit. If I had this guy on my side, I'd have his balls as big as the Catholic Church. But I like this first season. It could have done a lot more things better, but like overall, I give this season a 7 out of 10 because while it had great action scenes, they could have done more with some of the slower moments. They could have cut some shit out. And overall, it's okay show. 7 out of 10 is pretty good. But anyway, that's my thoughts, guys. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and until next time, binge on.